All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through. We're here with Carson once again. Special guests, Carissa, Caitlin, Anna Marie, and Maddie joining us in our live studio audience today. Shout out to Miss Underwood, hooked me up with the new version of Windows. Didn't even know that was a thing. And we're off, okay? So, now we're going to start this section by focusing on the space constraints. So, it's a good time to pause the video. You are going to need to refer to some of the things we addressed in yesterday's video, okay? So, Carlos comes up with an equation based on the constraint for his dogs and cats. And he thinks that if we had 0 cats, we would have 15 dogs. So hopefully you recognize that that is why that's the y-intercept, 0, 15. And for every for every dog that she adds, for every cat that she adds, she loses 1/4 of a dog. Or for every dog that she drops, she adds 4 cats, essentially. Does that make sense? Okay. So there's nothing to do on that page. Clarita was like, and I think in this instance, Clarita's method makes more sense to me. She's like, no. Let's make our equation make more sense to the user. It's 6 square feet per cat. It's 24 square feet per dog. And we have a maximum of 360 square feet to work with. So they want to say, show the steps to turn Clarita's equation into Carlos's. Why does that happen? It makes me frustrated. So 6x and this is why I really like this MVP book, because it's like everything's starting to come together. I want to make that look like Carlos's. Well, what do I got to solve for, Carson? What does Carlos's equation look like? So what was solved for in Carlos's? The y. It says y equals. Correct. So I need to solve this equation for what? For y. So what do I do first? Subtract 6x. And you remember that you were doing this earlier in the lesson, solving different variables. Okay, so we've done this. Now, rather than call this 360 minus 6x, let's put it in slope-intersect form. So negative 6x, is that plus or minus? Plus 360. Okay? Next step. We're solving for y, so we divide everything by 24. And what do you think negative 6 divided by 24 simplifies to, Carson? What the heck is going on now? Oh my gosh. So yes, negative 1/4 x plus 15. That is how these two equations are the same. Now, how would we go from Carlos's equation back to Clarita's equation? Well, now we want to get the number by itself. Okay, so what would be our first step, Carson, if we want to get the number by itself? We're going to add 1/4 x. Okay? So you get 1/4 x plus 1y equals 15. Now, what do you think we want to multiply to turn that into this? What are we going to multiply both sides by? What do we want the y to be? What do we want the coefficient in front of the y to be? So what do you think we should multiply by? That's right. Can we just multiply this side by 24? Nope. We've got to do it to the other. That's right. Okay? So, you end up getting that 6x And that is what they asked us to do. Okay? Just so you can get a peek forward. This is how we like to work. That's slope-intercept form. We're used to that. This is called standard form. And this is the time when standard form is helpful. Okay? Now, here, they gave us a startup cost. We didn't have to remember it. So, Carlos and Clarita plan to invest this much. This is just a review from the last chapter, last section. Okay? Show the steps you could use to turn Clarita's startup cost equation into Carlos's and explain. Okay, well, I think Clarita's equation was 32. Well, let's see. What was Kat's? X or Y?
I think it went in alphabetical.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. 32x plus 80y equals 1280. Now, how can we turn that into y equals mx plus b, Carson?
You could
Solve it for y.
subtract
Subtract 32x. And you get 80y. Again, I'm not going to write it as 1280 minus 32x. I'm going to write it as negative 32x plus 1280. Next step. And you get y equals, let's see, negative 32 divided by 80. 0.4, okay? That's right. Now I remember that. Negative 0.4x. What's 120 divided by 80, Carson? Oh, yes, I missed. What's 1280 divided by 80? Okay, now I remember that equation from the last video. Okay? So that's how you would turn the startup costs into slope-intercept form. All right, now this is kind of annoying. We just did it, but let's go through it because they asked us to, Carson. Turn that back into standard form. So I want you to get the number by itself. You'd subtract negative 4, so yeah. Add 0.4x. Okay? That is 0, so that's why it's gone. So you got 16 equals, well, we're going to keep the x's first because that's what standard form tells us to do. So 0.4x plus, what number's in front of that y? Very good. It's a 1. That's right. That's why you don't see it, because we're lazy. We're just smart, lazy people. That's what mathematicians are. Okay? So we want this to get to 80. So what do you think we want to multiply by? Nope, we want it to get to, we want the coefficient in front of the y to get to 80. And right now it's 1. So what do you think we got to multiply it by, Carson? Very good, 80. Okay? So, what's 80 times 0.4? I bet it's 32. What's 80 times 1? That's why we multiplied it by 80. And what do you think 80 times 16 is? That's right. So, I don't know why it keeps ViewSonic. Alright, so all you're doing in this chapter right now is you're working on changing things from slope-intercept to standard form. Almost done here, okay? Almost done. So, that's what this is telling you. Slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b, and standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all integers. They have to be whole numbers. There's a reason for that, okay? So, if we were going to graph this, I'm just going to sketch one. What would be the easiest 2 points for Carlos to put on his graph? 0, 15 for sure. Right, you put in a 0 for x, you get a 15 out. Now give me any other one. What would be a smart number to put in for x since it's a fourth? I agree. How about a 4 or a 40? Okay, okay. So what's negative 1/4 times 40? That's 10, and 10 plus 15, I'm sorry, negative 10 plus 15. So if you go over to 40, so now I got to make these 10 on the bottom. If you go over to 40, you're going to go up to a 5. And that's 2 easy points, okay? Now, this is the advantage to standard form. Choose a value for x that gives you 360. So 6 times what is 360? Just do 360 divided by 6. So you know that 60, 0 is on there. Because 360 plus 0 is 360. Does that make sense? Okay, so 60, 0 is on there. So what number will I put in for y to give me 0 for x? 15. So 0, 15 is on there. Got it? Yep. So when you get to these problems, don't turn them into y equals mx plus b, even though you totally could. It's much faster to just figure out those 2 points. So what do I put in for x to give me 10? That's my x-intercept. What do I put in? That's right. That's my y-intercept. Okay?
And is this always the case, or do I bet it's always the opposite of what 5?
Oh, hold on. Oh, it should be negative 5. I got that wrong. Right? Should be negative 5. So, 2, 0, 0, negative 5. There you go. Got it? Can I get a boom loud? Louder. Thank you.